Hi YouTube. So today we're gonna go through Lucy and what my opinions on her are a little bit. How does she play? How good is she? What are my first initial impressions? We're gonna talk some of her strengths, which won't be that long, and then we're gonna talk about her problems, which will be very long. Unfortunately, I think, and this is not an opinion share with everyone, and it's still early. It's still 5 days in. So, you know, take it with a huge grain of salt, pinch of salt. I think she kind of sucks. Not in the, wow, she doesn't function, but in a, wow, this is underwhelming. Nothing she does is like unique and no one else does it better. First, let's list her strengths, and I'll show them too. Her backdash is very far. She has one of, if not the best backdash in the game. It's 19 frame total, 5 frame interval, it just goes really far. It's grounded, so you can do back to 3OC. Lets her weave in and out really well. She can move backwards in the air pretty well like this. Her jumping heavy has a good hitbox. Most of her S buttons have good priority once they're out. Like decent, a little bit of a disjoint. 5H too. She gets consistent conversions for everything. 2K 2D, you know, get strike throw. From this, she gets this. From throw, she, you know, like, gets a shitty little left right. Even from jabs, she gets like this into Oki. Like even if this whiffs, you can still run Oki. If you frame trap them with any button, so like this, you can get Oki. If you hit them with Rekka in neutral, you get Oki. And does she have any more specials? No, this move is one of the worst moves in the game, but it can be used to end rounds sometimes. But it has no, it's not plus on hit even, I don't think. Yeah, -1. And she's very fast forward. She goes very fast forward. Her K buttons are also very, very good. Not like best in class or anything, but they're very solid, and her string to 2D does not have a gap. And you get like this. Her damage with, if she can hack early in a combo, so like this, she gets a lot of damage from this. Even from 2K 2D, if you're willing to spend a lot of resources. Wild Assault. Yeah, she's not released Bedman. For sure. Or at least Testament. There we go. Alright, so that's a lot of damage for 2K 2D, right? Now, there's a lot of other problems. One thing people initially talked about as a strength was that she had this overhead. And you can convert it with this. You could apply the hacks, and like this gives you a lot of freedom. You can not only is this a good block string with Monowire, even uncharged you can get a conversion if they counter hit. This is above average. And if they get charged, then they explode. Right? Or explode, but they take a big damage, and you could probably wall break there. And people are also very high on her, the fact that she had Monowire cancel, just like Misfinder. And last patch was, you know, partly ruled by Johnny, so people are like, wow, it's gonna be really scary, right? Now, what are her problems? I've talked to them about the strengths. Huge normals, fast. Some people claim she has God neutral, which is something I'm gonna dispute now, basically. Okay, so what are her issues? Well, first off, this sucks. This is one of the worst specials in the game. It has like a very, very limited combo utility, but it does bad damage, like doesn't work, and it's just a really bad zoning tool. Because if they do this, you can just crouch it, right? And even if you get hit by it, like this is nothing, right? Doesn't fucking matter. I'm literally plus on hit here. Like if they do this, the person getting hit is plus. She's very fast and her backdash is very good. The problem is what Johnny used to do last patch was backdash, far slash. Right? That was like his thing. Or Chaos does backdash, 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 curse into steady aim. Or backdash 2K. You know? The problem with Lucy is she doesn't have the step after the backdash. She backdashes and then she wants to press her far slash. But her far slash is 13 frame startup and 40 frame total. It's like the longest far slash duration in the game. Not only that, but it loses to 6p frame 1. And it has a massive hurt box. See? I can hit it after super easily. I have not practiced this whatsoever. And this already comes up a lot in matches. Right? Incredibly bad far slash in frame data wise. But it's still useful, obviously. But yeah, even like jumping over it like this, you know, you hit it. Just kind of absurd. Not only that, but even just on startup, like look at my 5k, it was just trade. If I do like another button like this, it will be a bad trade. It's 5H. So that's an issue. Her other normals, 2S, this one goes very far. It hits round start. But it's also 36 frame total. It also has a decent hurt box. Like this. See how long it lingers? Very consistent with punishable. Much bigger than like her peers in this scenario, right? It's 36. 5H is a little bit better priority wise. Doesn't lose to 6p frame 1. But this is 38 total. And you don't have any good block strings on block. Because this whiffs and Rekka is really risky. This is the beginning of our problems, basically. Like, her point is, like, she can be both Axel / Ram in terms of range, but then also be very fast, like Chip, right? Now, the issue is that she backdashes and she gets into a range, but this range, she mainly uses this button, far slash. If she wants to go closer and be in this range, now her 2S is, you know, just average, honestly. It's not even above average, I would say, because it's 36 total. 5H is also below average, I would say, but maybe, you know, average. But considering her archetype, it's definitely below average. 12 frame startup, 38 total, no Gatlings. Her S Gatlings, like far slash, cannot be delayed whatsoever. And you can only cancel a 5H from this. Now, this is problematic for a lot of reasons. So it's really hard to frame trap like this, because if I fuzzy mash, I can just like press the button late because she can't delay it. And her block string just kind of ends after. See, if I get hit here far, then I just punish her for it. I don't even have to backdash. Even if I'm closer, I can just backdash anyway. And she has to commit super hard with Rekka here, which you can then throw. 2S is a bit better. You can delay this frame trap like this and do something like that. So if I mash out the first one, boom, I get hit. If I mash here, I can also get hit. Seems good, right? Well, the problem is that if you IB this, yeah, I IB as well. Then the 2H whiffs, and you can't do 5H here. You can't do 5H. It doesn't let you cancel. Monowire, the special I did here too. While it does give, you know, it does give combo and counter hit. Oops, I'm doing too early. It's still a really bad blocking special. Because it's, you know, it's slow. It's not true block string from a lot of her buttons. And, like, if you do this, let's say you're trying to intercept someone IBing you, throw. This is a one frame to punish, by the way. You have to do 2H on a 1 frame timing to hit it, which is obviously very bad. And then, oh wow, I can also backdash it. All right. Now, you might say, well, it's because she's supposed to partial charge it. When you partial charge it, it's +7. And you get this, right? Like, you get the stain applied on hit. This seems great, right? And now I can do run up throw, which combos, or I can do a button, right? To stop them from doing something. Let's do it like this. So the problem is, Monowire is either 16. If you want to do the next cancelable window, you have to do 32. You cannot do a partial charge that's like 17 or 28. Which means that as soon as you see this move, you can press on frame 17. And if you press on frame 17, you will beat whatever Lucy does, basically. You can fuzzy far slash here to where I know this is coming and I press far slash here. And if they do the regular one, then I don't get hit. Even her misfinder cancel, like Monowire cancel, is 26 total, which means that if you press on frame 17, she will still start 7 frames behind. So the best thing she could probably do is like 2S, 2S, 2H, and then DP or something, your far slash, or maybe backdash. But like you don't have any good options whatsoever. So Monowire is just a really bad special. This is on top of the fact that it's also backdashable like this. And even delaying this doesn't actually like hit it in a lot of scenarios. So see here, like even if I backdash early, it doesn't matter. Here I can also fuzzy backdash and always get a combo. I see the Monowire, I react, I backdash. I get a punish. This is really fucking problematic because in Guilty Gear Strive, these days, very few characters have bad block strings. And her whole point is that she can far slash you from really far and make you block early, right? But turns out this is just not scary when you know what to do. Yeah, not all characters can punish, but every character can take their turn. Most characters can punish that. Most characters can punish this, by the way. Because you're plus like 20 or something. Another thing is you can jump. You can fuzzy jump here. The hitbox is very low to the ground. So you can also just jump over it. And again, the problem is that when they're jumping, even if you do hit them with Monowire, it doesn't do anything because it only leads the combo on counter hit. Now, okay, so you might think, why don't I just do 2S Monowire cancel or far slash Monowire cancel? Problem is, it's minus 13. This is also minus 13. If you don't do Monowire cancel, you're minus 8, which is still horrible. Minus 12 on 2S. 2H cancels, which for Johnny is minus 4, is minus 8 with her on 5H2. On 2D, it's minus 13. So yeah, basically she doesn't have good stagger pressure, even if you use the misfind and cancel. And so it further emphasizes the fact that she can't really beat basic options like this. Right? To beat this, can you maybe do this? Yeah, you have to do like the jump Rekka on read, which is this move, by the way, is punishable on reaction. You get like 6B, I think, last frame. Let me see if I can ever get hit by it. Like counter hit. Okay, it's possible, but you have to hit it very late. You can also air throw it on reaction. Farsight Monowire, yeah, this string is a little bit better, but again, it's not actually, you know, that problematic because you can just backdash and then get out. And yeah, you're just plus 10 here, but you're still plus, right? And if you're closer, some characters can actually punish. So her block strings suck. Maybe you can just do Rekka, right? Like her Rekka is only -6. It can be safe when spaced. Like this. See, this is really good, right? The problem, again, becomes that she has just worse block strings than everyone, like, cancel windows the most. So with Chip, you can do Rekka 1, delay Rekka 2. Same thing with Ram, right? With Lucy, you can't really do this. This is the most you can delay Rekka. I'm pressing the button and it's not coming out. Which means it's a lot easier to fuzzy mash this. I'm out. And still take your turn. You might not get the punish, right? But let's say if you know they're gonna do this to try to be safe, you can do fuzzy mash like 2S here. Or maybe you press a 5K that reaches. Or you even dash block. And then you react to the fact that she backdashed and throw her. Or you fuzzy jump and you get out. Again, her Rekka has no reward on hit, really, unless you have meter. So you're not scared of her Rekka at all. And again, this jump over one is just really bad. A lot of options that, like, you know, just punish a regular Rekka can work versus this one too. But generally, people can just, you know, react to this. You can IB throw it, which happens a lot by accident. You can backdash punish it. And I don't even know how would you even punish backdash? I guess this. Yeah. But like it's really hard to target a lot of these things, right? So her Rekka just has really bad risk reward. Really bad risk reward. It is really ignorant and neutral though. Like doing this is neutral is very ignorant. For sure. But it still falls into the same, you know, issue of like, at the end of the day, as annoying as this is to deal with, if you just block it, you're fine. And if you predict it and you press a button out, you kill her. You know, not Lucy herself, but everyone else kills her for this, right? This is a really big issue because she is the 4th lowest health character. She shares health with Sado and Happy Chaos, right? Sado and Happy Chaos are known for, you know, not having to interact with their opponent on offense, right? Like having very safe block strings, doesn't have to bait DP, doesn't have to bait YSC that much, doesn't have to bait, you know, care about backdashes or mash, stuff like that. They can take out a lot of the volatility on offense. And in neutral, you know, Sado is standing over here summoning Eddie, letting Eddie fight for him, and Happy Chaos is letting the gun do the talking. So the fact that Lucy has to throw herself at the opponent or use buttons that has massive recovery is a really big issue because she can't really be safe. Another thing we talked about, her jump is very good. This is an overhead. The problem is that this is very easily reactable. Even people that haven't practiced against this just like block this shit normally. This only gives a combo with meter or stain as well. And the problem is that this shit is hella minus on block. Let me see what it is. It's -11. So you can cancel things, right? Like you can jump here. You can do like this is what I do normally. But all of these things have issues because, you know, you could 5P here and then still backdash, right? Now, if they don't do anything, like if they just do JH, I get a punish, and if they don't, then I'm still out. You can dash under. This is something a lot of people do. They just dash forward and then see the double jump and then punish you. She has no cross-up normal whatsoever. None of her normals say cross-up. Not even this one that looks like it. And yeah, again, this is reactable. So it's just not very good. It also doesn't do a crazy ton of damage unless you're at a 1 frame. And even then, it doesn't do high damage. It's just okay. And it's just really bad on block. She has this move, JD, which is like one of the worst moves in the game, bar none. Like, insanely bad move. Because, yeah, it can like work like here, but it's easier to 6p. You can like delay close slashes, I think. Yeah, like that. You will just like randomly use this move and always suffer for it. You can backdash here again. It's 24 frames, so it's not like a mix-up or anything. Ino also has to throw herself at you with low health. This is not true because Ino, 1, has good normals that aren't not easy to whiff punish. 2, specials that actually low and high profile her. So yes, she is throwing herself at you, but her hurtbox doesn't, exist on one of the fields. 3, hovers, so she doesn't exist on the ground when she hovers. Has like air approaches that are really good. 4 has note projectile. 5 HCL, and 6, the most important one. When Ino gets in, you are guessing for your life every single second she is in there. Her 2S and Farsights are both as lag as Lucy normals. Yes, but they're much harder to whiff punish. Instant JH is 21 frame. Trust me when I say that the frame data doesn't not show how bad it is. When you play this character, you will notice that people do not get hit by jumping JH. Her jumping heavy combo is a 2 frame. I see. It's still a lot of work for not a lot of work. And again, like, yeah, if Ino's point was that she was a character that sewn you with normals, maybe the fact that their normals are comparable would be something. But let's not forget, too, how these hurtboxes actually look. Look at this Farsight hurtbox, man. Look at this shit, bro. Shit is completely disjointed. Her 2S is 34. It is not 36. And it's also, like, low profiles. If we look again at Lucy, there's a really big hitbox, but it is not fully disjointed, and it leaves like lingering hurtbox. And if you look at 2S, again, big hurtbox, does not low profile. And this is again for Ino, which barely uses normals in neutral. To have that as your main point is a really big issue. Yes, Lucy is fast. Again, if Ino was also a, character like this who had bad offense, then I would be completely different. I don't understand why you're trying to downplay Ino, because again, no one plays Ino to fucking play footsies. This archetype, it's not the same archetype at all, man. It is not the same archetype at all. Bro, Ino and Lucy are not the same just because they're both waifus you want to fuck. They're not the same. They have nothing in fucking common. The only thing they have in common is that Lucy's normals are bad and that Ino's normals are not amazing, but they're not supposed to be. If Chip's ground speed was the same as Potemkin, you still wouldn't call them the same archetype. But Chip would be pretty fucking bad for his archetype if he has Potemkin ground speed. Just like Lucy is pretty fucking bad because she has Ino level normals when that's supposed to be her strength. Lucy wants to stay here and poke, and Ino wants to just run in and fly and approach through the air, shoot projectiles. Whereas Lucy kind of plays a mix of mid-range and running in. Yeah, if Lucy had good offense, we would not be having this conversation. So, this hack combo that we showed earlier, right? While this combo might look like it's really good, the problem becomes that, yes, this is very high damage. This is very, very high damage when you hit the combo. But you can't do it without Wild Assault. This doesn't combo. It's like you need super specific micro dash to combo from here. Combo. right? Wow, look at the damage, right? The problem is, this is burstable on reaction. You can burst while it's all on reaction. It's 20 frames, right? If you burst on the Rekka, oh, she can see that it's burst. Doesn't matter, it punishes. Secondly, if you don't have burst or meter, right? She builds you a fuck ton of it. So this combo might look great on paper, but when you account for there being extra rounds, like you start building crazy amounts of burst in a lot of her combos. And this would be one thing if it was just one combo, but this is a combo that's minus 50% meter in meter equilibrium. Your opponent gets 50 meter and 50 burst, and you lose 50 burst. And if they can burst before the end of the combo, guess what? Nothing you did, like, you know, now you don't get positive. You get none of your resources back. There are some combos, obviously. Like, you can do this, or this one is a very good one. But the problem remains where this is just, while it's amazing when it works, there's just so many spots where this doesn't matter. If you're already in the corner, we hit someone with 2S. This combo does just normal damage. This no longer does good damage. And you don't get super wall break, right? Like, I could have just done my normal B&B. Oops. And you can just do super right away if you want to give your opponent less resources. Or you can do, you know, like slightly more. Like that. Point is, her damage is only outrageous in spots where they often don't matter. The requirement is basically, you need to have your meter right away when the hit hits. So it needs to be like Rekka super, right? If you don't have the meter, 50 meter here, no combo whatsoever, right? If you don't have the meter on this hit, no combo, right? If you're in the corner, the poison stack is much reduced, right? If your opponent has burst, suddenly using the super is usually inting. And again, some of the other time, on regular character, like where your damage legit is higher than an average character, like, wow, this is the perfect scenario, like this would do more damage than a normal hit. A lot of those times, you just have too little health for your opponent left. So a regular character would have just killed with, like, you know, like a non-super combo. Let's just say, like, the, you know, she has non-super combos like this. A lot of time, this is just enough, and it gives better meter, and it gives less burst to your opponent. So the scenarios where she actually has high damage are not as frequent as they should be. And when they do happen, you still don't get super wall break Oki. You still don't build extra meter. A fast RC combo, you know, like let's say you do Rekka and you go for your fast RC combo instead of the super. Yeah, okay. Yeah, look at that. This still does a lot of damage. 176. And turns out this one goes like minus 20 meter and builds your opponent a hell of a lot less burst. If we look at this combo again, which might not be like, you know, the technically optimal one always, but like it's a good, like, realistic example. This like barely does any more damage in this scenario, and you get way less meter. All right, let's look at the clip. Bro, look at the burst meter, man. Jesus Christ. Don't tell me Johnny ends up winning. Uh-oh. 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 Oh my god, dude. Look at this shit again. Her damage is just so pitiful when it's any normal hit that's not like a hack combo. Easily bottom 1 damage now. Easily bottom 1. No, she's not worse than Launch Venom. What I'm wondering more or less is what's her point? I don't think she's godlike in neutral because this and this is really her only things, and they're both really risky even when they work, right? They're not insane reward. She backdashes, but she doesn't backdash into something super threatening. Her jump is one of the worst jumps in the entire game because while this is hard to anti-air, right? It's so bad on block. Like, yeah, maybe this is not the easiest to anti-air in the game. It's still possible though. It's very like, you know, reactionable. And even a trade can a lot of time, depending on the character, obviously, like lead to a combo. Or you know, air tear them, you air throw them. But with her, because she doesn't have a cross under, you can just walk under her a lot of time. She can backdash, you know, or you can block it and whoop, you're +2. She has to like hard commit not to get thrown here. I don't think 5k is broken. I think it's a very good 5k with very good speed. But this 5k, when you compare it to Chip, and the fact that he can 5k 2D, is a lot worse. And Chip, turns out, Chip gets a 4-way mix-up that does 70% if you get hit by the high, right, with rope. And if you block it, you're still blocking Chip with rope. If you get hit by this normal hit, this is fucking whatever. Like, this is so bad. Nothing she can do, including her, like, if you just go for Oki, none of this shit is strong. None of that shit is strong. The thing she really has is she has long range, and she gets her mediocre Oki very often. She is good at throwing, like, doing dash up throw. Like this. But because her buttons are so minus, like -13, -8, she really struggles to make use of this fact. Unlike Chip or Geo, who have a lot of buttons that are not very minus, and so then they can do dash up, run up, throw. Her throw also just is not very threatening. Her mix-up is far below average. It's not as bad as like Chip's throw mix-up, but it's also not great. Yeah, I think that maybe there are some things we can figure out, but I don't know what upside there really is with her, and I don't think almost anyone will be playing her 1 month in when it comes to like tournaments. Basically everyone I know has already dropped her. Everyone that was like, she's my character, I'm gonna give her a serious try, they're nowhere to be seen. They're just playing their mains, not talking about the character anymore. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Another character that seemed interesting, but just isn't quite it. I think what I keep coming back to is she feels like she's missing moves. She feels like a season 1 character, or like a character that was on launch, like Geo, that then got another special move that like made them complete and made them able to compete in season 4 and season 3. This move being one of her special moves when she really only has that and then this and then this. And obviously her DP is really problematic. I will say her DP, which I forgot to mention, is very good. This DP has very good Oki, much better than average. And due to her range and speed, she can actually enforce better pressure than most from this, especially when this shit counter hits. This is much better pressure than most characters get from their DP. Again, Chip gets this from his DP, but most don't. Yeah, so far, very underwhelming. I think she has a lot of issues. A lot of her block sinks are bad. Her risk reward is just horrendous. Yet another bad DLC character from Strive, in my opinion. Now, I'm going to catch a lot of shit from this. There's going to be a lot of people saying, no, she's not bad. I went through this with Venom, guys. I said Venom was bottom 1, day 2. And people are like, no, bro. No, bro. No, there's no way. Then no one wanted to say anything, and then 2 months later, he is bottom 1 on everyone's tier list. But that's just the thing. Being early on with an opinion people will remember the times you're wrong, right? I said Falco was top tier day one of Ultimate when the trading mode was bugged, and people still bring that shit up to me to this day. No one ever gives a shit if you're right about tier lists, but they always remember when you're wrong. So maybe I'm mistaken for saying what I think about Lucy, but I'm going to say what I think because I believe it. I think this character is shit. Not as in unplayable, but doesn't have a purpose. There's no reason whatsoever to pick Lucy if you want to win at the game, unless you're just trying to gimmick people. There's nothing she does that Ram, Chip, Testament, all these other people don't do comparably or better. At the end of the day, is she good? I don't think so. Is she the worst character in the game? That's hard to say. I think her base things, just like having a DP and being fast, might pull her out of being bottom one. But I can't say so for sure. I can't say that there's like, oh, Axel or Faust is definitely worse. And that's pretty sad. Because you should definitely be able to tell, you know, if a character is good, you should definitely be able to tell, like, wow, Faust is way fucking worse than this character. You can tell when left is gatekeeping because he says they're bad and keeps flying. How am I gatekeeping then? Having a DP and having high poison damage against guts. Do we even know that's how it works though? I also think having a DP is not as necessary in this game as it used to be because of risk being less impactful. Now that you can actually block long strings without, you know, instantly losing, I think there's a lot more. It's a lot more okay to not have a DP. Yeah, I mean, guys, this is also a competitive opinion, right? If you're not Vanquisher, then this opinion probably doesn't matter. Like it's just like straight up inaccurate.